Welcome to the Downtime from WTWH Media with your hosts, Sarah Wynn and Sheri Kasprzak, bringing you everything you need to know from the week in manufacturing.
All right, let me talk to you. Welcome back to the Downtime, a weekly manufacturing podcast from WTWH Media. I'm Sarah Wynn, Senior Editor for Packaging OEM, here with my tag team partner,
Sheri Kasprzak, also at WTWH Media. I am the Managing Editor of our Automation and Controls brands. That's Plant Engineering, Control Engineering, and Consulting Specifying Engineer. Welcome back to another episode of the Downtime. We're always glad to have you.
Thank you for spending your downtime with the Downtime. Sheri, what do we have on deck today?
You know, Sarah, today our episode is all about sustainability, and I think that's a really important topic for a lot of folks in the manufacturing sector. It's something that we're trying to bake into the process itself, making sure that things are sustainable, looking into closed loop systems. That's something that's really important. And, you know, one of the people that we're going to be featuring today did a great article on how to bake in the design in software. So I think that's a really fascinating topic. And as you know, it's our own Stephanie Neal, our boss, frequent joiner of our podcast. We love her. You know, and later on in the episode, I've got some really great sustainability insights from Dave Duncan. He is the VP of Sustainability at PTC. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to play like a really fun game, right? As we do. We love games.
I love games. What can I say? I say, Sheri, you want to play another game? She never says no. So here we go. We got another game on deck. Let me address my hat situation. I said I was going to wear a different hat each week. This week is not a paid sponsorship, but I wish it would be. This is a LaCroix hat that they sent me. Sheri, I also have the matching can that matches my hat.
LaCroix, call us. Mm-hmm. We could definitely do a sponsorship.
I think Sheri needs a hat, LaCroix. I'm putting it on record.
I agree.
Yes. So let's circle back into sustainability a little bit. We got a whole show on it. So we spoke with the one, the only, Stephanie Neal, the GOAT. I call her the head of the table of the automation and controls team. She spoke with us about a story that appeared on Packaging OEM's website, and it was also in a recent issue of Design World. It's on Amcor Sustainable Packaging Design with Dassault Software.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a great interview. It was so great catching up with Stephanie. Really interesting to hear about kind of what appealed to her about the software and how she approached covering the topic. But yeah, I mean, let's just have a listen to our great interview with Stephanie. She did such a great job. So listen to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Downtime. Sheri and I are here with Stephanie Neal, VP, Editorial Director, WTWH Media. I like to say she's the head of the table for the automation and controls team. Stephanie, welcome back to the Downtime.
Oh, thank you, Downtime Divas. That's what I call it.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So we are here to talk about a story Stephanie recently wrote for Packaging OEM. It was also in the June 2025 issue of Design World. Stephanie, do you just want to introduce the story a little bit and then we can kind of chat about it?
Yeah, so it actually started last year, like last August. I had interviewed Ray Wodar, who's the Global Director of Business Consulting for CPG at Dassault Systems, and they provide software like computer-aided design and computer-aided engineering, and that optimizes product design process as well as determines the life cycle of a product from original design to recycling. And during that conversation, we talked about a concept that he called the perfect package. And this is a way for CPG companies to design and optimize packaging quickly. And to do that, the Dassault has a platform. It's called the 3D Experience, and it's a single collaborative environment to connect ideas, data, design, specifications, modeling, simulations, and life cycle analysis. So that Q&A from last August is on the Packaging OEM website, but I wanted to understand how the Dassault technology actually works, and the best way to do that is to talk to a customer. So Ray put me in touch with Brad Phillip, who's the principal design engineer at Amcor Rigid Packaging. So that's how that evolved. So Amcor is a global provider of packaging containers, flexible and rigid. For this story, we were focused on the rigid packaging, which provides plastic containers for food, beverage, and healthcare. And to align with customer sustainability goals, Amcor is focused on making packaging that is lighter weight, so using less materials. They also have to look at recycling and reusability, like post-consumer recycled material. When developing a new container, the design engineers will use CAD and a digital twin to simulate the different dynamics of the container. And that might be like different shapes. It could be environmental factors like temperature or altitude. These all affect materials. Or they want to understand how lighter weight material responds to palletizing and shipping. So historically, they've had to design in CAD, computer-aided design, and export to computer-aided engineering to run testing on it. And when there's dozens of design variations, this process gets really cumbersome. So they upgraded to Dassault Systems 3D Experience platform, which integrates these design and engineering tools, including like finite element analysis simulations, which is just math equations for structural analysis and heat transfer and fluid flow and all of these engineering concepts that are beyond my expertise, but needed for design of a package. But I guess the big thing here is it's a closed loop system versus a disconnected array of applications. And that's what they were running. They were putting this in the cloud to run 24/7 nonstop. This is also sort of a different approach versus like having it on site and, having to, again, sort of manually make these connections. But it doesn't solve all the problems for streamlining because you still need to develop the methods and the models, which comes from feeding historical testing data to make sure the model reflects the real world with accuracy. So there's a lot that goes into it, but ultimately, Brad was testing the software with his team and made such a huge difference in terms of time to market and how fast they could get these designs out.
Stephanie, you mentioned Dassault Systems brings up the perfect package. What interested you in learning more about that? It's a pretty bold statement, the perfect package.
Yeah, and anytime you hear those two words together, perfect package, we have to explore it because, that's the area that we are reporting on. So it's really a term that Dassault Systems coined. It's what they use. But when I reached out, I wanted to talk to a subject matter expert to understand what it really entails. And we did talk a little bit about the fact that it brings together these engineering tools in one platform. So it's connecting the dots, making it one source of truth. Everybody has access to it. But when you think about what the perfect package is, it goes from design to end of life. And a lot of these CPG manufacturers are now tasked with not only designing the package and making sure that it has some sustainability goals in mind, but also they have more responsibility. They've got, this extended producer responsibility where they need to understand the entire life cycle of the package from design to end of life disposal. So in order to do that, you've got to understand every single thing in the middle, from the design to the packaging to the retail shelves to the consumer consuming the product, getting rid of the packaging. Where does it go from there? And I think that's, this closed loop system, not just in an engineering tool, but in a life cycle of a product is really important for us to continue to explore.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what stood out to you about how Amcor is approaching sustainable packaging design?
So what I found out from talking to Brad was that designing sustainable packaging is a core company value for Amcor. And the rigid container group focuses on the plastic bottles, and customers are asking for post-consumer recycled PCR material and lightweighting. So making a lighter package, which has an impact on the entire supply chain. So kind of what I was talking about before, like a lighter package is also going to impact, the shipping of it, right? And, the footprint of it through the entire supply chain. So Brad's group is really focused in this area, optimizing the geometry of the container. And they have a lot of intellectual property around designing more sustainable plastic packages. They've been doing this for 15 years and testing these materials. But the design process can be so time consuming, as I mentioned. So the adoption of a digital design space that runs in the cloud with historical data, AI, analytics, they're actually automating the process, which is pretty unique.
Stephanie, can you tell us what you think the future of 3D design is for packaging and maybe any other industries?
Yeah, I mean, well, if we look at what Dassault is doing specifically, like they play in so many different industries. I mean, they've got a huge presence in aerospace and defense and construction and infrastructure and life sciences. And having this platform that connects all the dots can just streamline the process. But they're also, because of generative AI, they're coming out with a whole new type of category called experience as a service. So this is where generative experiences and intelligent virtual twins can create a whole new level of knowledge and productivity. And Dassault is calling this the generative economy. And it's a combination of experience and the circular economy. And so like we can bring that back to packaging and, how generative AI is going to really elevate the knowledge that the engineers can obtain quickly. And if we, when you think about generative AI, it can offer like next steps, right? It's not just content. It's like, here's what to do next. It can be predictive. So that opens the door to a whole new other level of design.
So you're saying Gen AI is not only going to help packaging push forward, but I can use it as myself to, like take pictures of my dogs and put them in tracksuits and packaging OEM gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And that's an important application.
I think so too. Yeah. I think so too. There are the brand ambassadors. They're the flexible packaging, examiners. They are important. So Gen AI, not just for aerospace, but for personal use.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say that, first of all, when it comes to this software, I would really encourage your listeners to go to one of our other sister brands under the WTWH Media umbrella, which is engineering.com. And they write a lot about CAD software and 3D modeling. But when we look at this generative economy, they wrote about an example of Dassault partnering with Volkswagen to collaborate on a digital infrastructure for modern vehicle development and using this 3D experience platform as both the engineering and the manufacturing platform. So now we're connecting even more dots, right? And this streamlines development and factory planning while reducing costs. So that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down that I can't really talk too much about because I don't have the in-depth knowledge that some of our colleagues do over at engineering.com, but there's some great articles and content over there.
Yes. And so this is a quick plug for WTWH Media. WTWH stands for Willing to Work Harder. Several B2B publications, including the ones we mention every week on this episode. That's Packaging OEM, Plant Engineering, Control Engineering. Stephanie brought up engineering.com. There's also Design World, Fluid Power World. I could keep going, but we would never end the episode. So that's just a quick little plug. We will include links in all of our social media posts. But circling back to the perfect package for a second, Stephanie opens the story, and this is one of my favorite parts about it because she really humanizes it. And she's like, if you've ever had a sports drink, probably had a package produced by Amcor. And I happen to have a sports drink on my desk. I don't know if this is produced by Amcor, but it is a sports drink. So just going to tie into rigid packaging for a little bit, and we can kind of just have some fun at the end. There is a rigid package that the three of us do not necessarily agree on, and that would be the product of peanut butter.
Agreed. Yep. So yeah, I think Stephanie, you and I are crunchy all the way.
Oh, extra crunchy.
I love some extra crunchy. Yeah,
See, your girl is creamy all the way. That's
Yeah. I mean, well, this is interesting though. Doesn't peanut butter, I don't know which brand it was, but didn't they come out with a flexible packaging peanut butter
yes,
packaging?
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Jif
I think
Jif has one, and if
Skippy
you
has
read
it, right?
if you read Packaging OEM story, the deep dive on flexible packaging, we talk about the fitment pouches, including Daisy sour cream, peanut butter. I did speak with a company that makes the peanut butter. They can't necessarily speak on record about it, but all that info is in the flexible packaging story. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Stephanie. You just set it right up for me. It's like she lobbed it up. I'll slam it right on down.
And we can definitely include links to that story, right, Sarah? So those will be everywhere you can find the podcast.
Oh, we will link all day long.
Yes, we will.
You know what's funny? And I used that Daisy flexible packaging sour cream last night.
Oh,
And as I was squeezing it out of the bottle, in my mind, I thought, this is flexible packaging. I don't know if the everyday consumer thinks like that, but that's how I do. And I know, Sarah, you go down the grocery store aisle and like pinpoint all of the all of
uh,
the packaging designs.
when
I
I
mean,
first started, I told Stephanie I wanted to make videos, but we hadn't been to any events. So I literally went to the grocery store and videoed as many flexible pouches as I could.
that's
Yes,
amazing.
it's a fun little thing to do, and you can look and you can see the seal. You can my story on flexible packaging specifically talks about how a pouch can be a marketing platform. Nice little advertisement. Yeah, we could talk flexible packaging all day, Stephanie.
Yeah, and then then you add on that QR code or that 2D barcode, right? And now we have even more information on our flexible package.
Oh my gosh, you're blowing my mind.
It's so crazy, yeah, because I mean, I am from the 1900s. So I remember a time when we had like ketchup in a glass bottle. So to have flexible
Oh.
packaging and to have like these sort of innovations and to have the QR codes to give you more information and to save like the space on the packaging itself so that you can use your phone, which you always have, to
Mhm.
get that information instead of having, all of it printed out on a glass bottle that you have to like shake and then hit on the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah, I mean it's crazy to see the evolution of packaging is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely, my go back to this story. This was a very deep dive. It's a very long story. It's worth the read. We talk about how millennials and Gen Z grew up with flexible packaging. They grew up with Capri Sun. I'm not going to age myself. I'll just say I grew up with Capri Sun, and it's a interesting thing to bring up, and especially let's talk about the smartphones and the QR code barcodes, 2D barcodes. Not only can you scan your package and see the allergens, then you can hop off that, jump on the SoundCloud, and listen to the downtime at the same time.
As you should.
It's all in your hand.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow.
Yes. And Stephanie, before we let you go, I believe you have a pretty neat cup or a jar with you. Can you tell us about it?
I do. I have this. Can you see it?
Wow. Wow.
The Ohio State Cup. I did not go there, but I know somebody who did go there,
Mm.
and they were so nice, and they gave me this because I don't know if I should go into the backstory. It has to do with Patriots and the Patriots
Let's hear it.
and you can tell the story better than I can, but I guess the new coach for the Patriots went to the Ohio State, and because I'm a huge Patriots fan, Sarah Wynn decided she would bestow a gift on me from her alma mater that ties it all together because she went there too.
Yes, Stephanie, that's a beautiful little rigid jar you have, that Ohio State glass. Awesome. And it circles back in pretty nicely to Stephanie's story about Amcor using Dassault software about rigid packaging. And that is available at www.packagingoem.com. We will share it on social media. We will share the links. Stephanie, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. You now tie Jean from the Robot Report for most appearances on the Downtime. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Hope that you invite me back. And I hope to continue to connect with your audience on LinkedIn and at the Downtime.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you're welcome here anytime. We have a seat and a microphone always available for you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. You know, it's not every interview we get to talk about software, sustainable packaging, using AI, especially to create fun images like my dog in a packaging OEM tracksuit.
We love it. Yep, we got to make that happen. We need tracksuits for the pups.
Yes, I showed the photo to my mom. I posted it on my LinkedIn. If you want to see my dog wearing a packaging OEM tracksuit, it's up there.
So, hey,
My
Sarah, since your dogs are all bees, would you say that you have the beehive at your house? Is that what they're going to
Yeah,
call?
you could. I don't call them that, but yeah, you could. You could. I even have my little bee necklace on. It
Aw,
just has a little bee. It represents all my dogs. All my Shih Tzus have been named with bees. You know, I love a little Shih Tzu. I just love it.
yeah, we love it.
Yeah. So Sherry, let's transition over. Plant engineering. What do you got?
All right. So, yeah, over at Plant Engineering, we've got some great sustainability insights from Dave Duncan. He is the VP of Sustainability at PTC. He did this great piece for us over at plantengineering.com. You can go over and read the entire piece on 5 manufacturing trends to accelerate sustainability progress. Let's just go through a few of those. You can read the full article over at plantengineering.com. Let's start off with using sustainability as a core product design. Decisions made during the product development phase are estimated to determine 80% of all product-related environmental impacts. Material and component supplier selections, that's 2 of the top footprint contributors. Energy-intensive products like cars, consumer use is a big factor as well in terms of contribution to sustainability. The bottom line is decisions that contribute to scope 3 emissions offer the greatest opportunity to make significant reductions, and manufacturers are starting to embed sustainability into those design decisions. So we're seeing a lot of that. Using Internet of Things, IoT, to reduce factory emissions. Factory emissions account for 1 to 10% of overall emissions, but they represent a significant portion or the majority of Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions that manufacturers can reduce. So this makes it a pretty big priority for manufacturers. Internet of Things plays a huge role in optimizing energy use, reducing waste, improving overall equipment effectiveness. Many manufacturers are maybe a little hesitant to look into IoT adoption, but this is a big way that a lot of manufacturers can reduce energy use and reduce waste, helping them be more efficient. And finally, one thing that I really wanted to highlight was increased investment in circularity modular design. We kind of talked a little bit about that during Stephanie's interview with us, looking into closed loop systems. This is a huge thing. We've seen companies like TerraCycle is a great example of that closed loop system where you're looking into ways to make, your product more efficient. You can have components that are interchangeable, that can be disassembled, reused, repaired, upgraded, recycled. All of those things feed into that closed loop system. So that's something that's going to be a real, game changer going forward. You can look at equipping frontline workers with digital tools like the ones we talked about in our interview with Stephanie that that provide 3D work instructions and that kind of thing. So these are sort of the big trends that are coming up in sustainability. And I think a lot of them feed right back into that interview we had with Stephanie. I think she offered some great insights as well. If you want to go check out the full article, be sure to go check it out at plantengineering.com. And as always, I will be sure to link the article wherever you can find our podcast, which leads me into my weekly sermon. If you are not following us at LinkedIn, at SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, go follow us. Give us a follow. We're also over on Instagram at the.downtime. We are over there. We have some fun videos. We share memes. We share really interesting interviews. If we're at a live event, you can catch some videos there. So follow us over at LinkedIn, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube. You can also check out our articles over at plantengineering.com, controlengineering.com, that's controleng.com, and packagingoem.com. And thank you.
Testify. Sherry's sermon. Testify.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sheri. And I just want to add, Packaging OEM writes a lot about sustainability. I guess when I say that, I should say I write a lot about sustainability. We have a whole section on Packaging OEM's website. Check that out.
Do it. Get over there.
Time to have some fun?
Let's do it. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so here's this week's game. I call it, this is our segment, Game Time. We will play a game called If I Were a, where we will answer each other. No prep, no rules. This is just caffeine. It's a little late in the afternoon for coffee when we're recording this, but if you have some, that's good. And good vibes. So I will just start and say, round one is weather. Right. If Sheri were weather, she would be a sunshine day, right? There would be a rainbow, like not a cloud in the sky. I don't know how there'd be a rainbow without a cloud, but we'll go with it because she is so warm. She is so inviting. And plus, that's perfect conditions for her to paddleboard.
Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. So you're sunshine too. So yeah, let's see. If you were weather, you would be like a dolphin jumping out of the ocean, like a Lisa Frank moment. Like, yeah, it'd be sunshine and dolphins leaping out of the water. There you go.
Oh my God, how did you know I was a Lisa Frank fan?
I mean, come on. Have all the pens and the stickers and yeah.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that at all. I love her. To this day, I love her. Lisa Frank, call us. We'll talk to you anytime. I know she doesn't really share her face, but you can do just an audio interview. Thank you, Sheri. That's very nice. I thought you'd say I was like a hurricane.
Gosh, no. Gosh, no.
Rolling in with dark skies. Like, oh no, what's about to happen?
All right. So round two is my category. So we're talking fashion, and if you've never listened to us before, fashion's my thing. I love fashion. The Met Gala is like my Super Bowl. Big fan. If Sarah were a fashion accessory or a shoe, see, I got to go with a baseball cap because that is your jam. You're always in a baseball cap. Love it. It's your look. It's so you. It's iconic. Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to give fashion advice while I'm sitting here wearing a t-shirt that says The Rock and wearing a white LaCroix baseball hat. But if Sheri were a fashion item, first thing that comes to mind are the glasses. Sheri has, oh my God, I don't even know, dozens of glasses.
A lot of glasses.
But I'm going to specifically shout this out. I'm not a fashion girl like Sheri. I might say this incorrectly. She'd be a Christian Lacroix dress.
I love that. Fun fact, I actually have in my closet a vintage 1980s Christian Lacroix dress. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I'm really smart. And I listen.
You are. You're very attentive. Yeah.
Round three, ding, ding, ding. If Sheri were a drink, round three is drinks, beverages of all kinds. If Sheri were a drink, there's two things that obviously come to mind, and the first would be LaCroix. We talk about it constantly. And number two, the one I would really cement, this is my locked-in answer, would be Earl Grey tea.
That's fair. I do love an Earl Grey. A London Fog, anything with Earl Grey. It's so classic. You have to drink it with your pinky out. Sarah, let's see. Sarah would also we have a long time thing with like LaCroix. That's our inside thing because we discovered that we love LaCroix. So I would say that you are a lime LaCroix because you're sweet but not too sweet.
Yeah, not too sweet.
You're bubbly, but not too bubbly.
Yeah. I respect that. Thank you. I'm not a tea drinker, so we don't agree on that, but we can disagree. We can agree to disagree, and that's why we get along so well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to have respect for other people's likes. I would never yuck anyone's yum. So there you go. All right. So Spotify playlist or song. See, this is great because I have my answer for you all lined up, and you know what it is. It's your theme song, Sarah. It's All I Do Is Win, DJ Khaled. That's your song.
Thank you. Yes, that is my theme song. Putting this on record, if I were a professional wrestler, which I think that has passed and that's not going to happen, and I'm okay with it. You know, fifth grade me would probably be devastated. I'm all right with it at my current age, which I won't mention. All I Do Is Win would be my entrance song, full stop. And in terms of Sheri, if she were a Spotify playlist or a song, I'm going to pick Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat.
No.
And as a fun alternate, like witchy music by like Stevie Nicks.
That's amazing because I love Stevie Nicks. She is just a queen. We love her. So
Notice I didn't pick one single. I picked them all the witchy music.
I love that. Yeah, I love Doja Cat as well. That one song I think is my I want to blow up the world song. So if I'm in a mood, yeah, that one's going on my playlist. So love that.
I said what I said.
Exactly.
Okay, now of course we have to tie in packaging. So if I described Sheri as a packaging format or a type of packaging, she'd be a resealable pouch with a gold label and a pop of color. Because she's shiny, she's bright, she's elegant. She knows how to class this up. This isn't your regular resealable plastic pouch. This is a luxury.
Nice. I love
Flexible
that.
pouch.
Wow. See, packaging is not my forte. Flexible packaging is my favorite. I would say that you would be a flexible package with a gold seal because you always get the gold star. That's it. You're like the gold standard.
I just melted in my seat. If you're not watching on video, I just literally melted. It's amazing. I'm back up and propped up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then this is the last round, round 6. Ding, 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 ding.
If Sarah was a scented candle, so I think you and I share a love for all things autumn and spooky. So I think if you were a scented candle, you would be a pumpkin spice scented candle, which, by the way, is my favorite because I love that.
With like whipped cream on the top. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I would pick like Sheri be like a light citrus scent, but it would have a bunch of glitter in it. Like fresh and clean and sparkly at the same time.
That is adorable. I love citrus, by the way. And I have a fun story. Well, I guess depending on your sense of humor. When I was living in one of my first apartments, I had a big glitter candle. And I lit my candle. I went off to like go do something else, as I do with my ADHD brain because I'm doing 40 things at the same time. So I lit my candle, walked away, and I came back, and the entire candle was in flames, like the entire, not just the wick, the whole thing, and there was wax like dripping down onto my floor, and I had to like get an iron and like iron all of the wax out of the carpet.
Oh my. See, I didn't know this.
I don't recommend glitter candles. I don't, because there's something about the actual material that is highly flammable, I'm guessing, and that's not good for a candle.
Well, I didn't say I was lighting Sheri's. I didn't say I was lighting it. I just said if Sheri were a candle, I'd think she'd be citrus, nice and fresh, with some sheen. Maybe just some like, you know, that like shiny kind of.
I have my moments where I burst into flames too, so I mean, it could be relatable. That's me, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a great rap song by Hurricane Chris, and he's like, she just got out the shower smelling like a scented candle. Yeah, that made me think of this.
Love it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So, ding, ding, ding. That's it. That's the game of the week.
We love it. It looks like we are rolling into the end of another episode of the Downtime, my friend. They always go by so fast.
Yes, I'm doing the little Dusty Roads little chant over here in my chair. It has come to the end of another episode of the Downtime. Thank you for listening. Follow me on LinkedIn. I just reached 2,000 followers. Shout out to all of you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sarah Wynn signing out for the Downtime.
And it's Sheri Kasprzak. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.